Welcome, everyone. I can see lots of you joining. It's fantastic to have you here this afternoon. I'll give you a few minutes just to settle in, and then we'll get started. It's great to see so many of you here today. Okay, so welcome and thank you for joining us for this very special event. And we've got some fantastic speakers lined up for you. I know it's the end of the day. We've probably all had busy days. We really appreciate you taking the time to join us for what is hopefully a very special event. So firstly, I am delighted to introduce the very lovely Frank Crichton. He's our Director of Business Development here at Appreciate Business Services, the home of Love to Shop. Frank is going to tell us a little bit about what we do here, how the cost of living crisis can be alleviated using rewards and incentives, and how one particular product, the Everyday Benefits Card, could be a complete game changer tool of support for countless employees. And yes, we are celebrating the official launch of the award-winning modular Appreciate Engagement Platform 2. So there is lots of positive news at Appreciate right now. And talking of positive news, congratulations is in order. I believe you guys won for the second time, Frank, at the Incentive Awards. How did that feel?
That's right. We were absolutely delighted. We won the Best Channel Partner Programme Award for a programme where our platform powers a loyalty scheme with Buildbase to Builders Merchants. It's a great example of how our platform generates success. Anyway, we've got an absolutely jam-packed programme for you all today. And let's not forget, as you said, Lou, we've got the England Lioness, Jill Scott, MBE, joining us later to give us a kickstart in staying motivated during what really are challenging times in the business world. And that's why we've titled today's event, Success Through Adversity. We want to highlight that while all sectors are facing tough economic times and rising costs, now really is the time to assess what you as a business and you as an employer can be doing to ensure employees and customers feel valued and remain loyal during a time of increased pressure on their finances.
Brilliant. So Frank, most of the audience listening know Love to Shop very well and are sure we've all received a Love to Shop product at some point. I know I have benefited from a Love to Shop gift card. I'm hoping for another one this year. But for those new to Appreciate Business Services, could you give us a quick overview of what you do and the role of rewards in the workplace and businesses?
Yeah, certainly. Appreciate Business Services is a leading UK employee and customer engagement company. And what's really key is we're both a manufacturer and distributor of Love to Shop rewards and gifting products. So we are the home of Love to Shop. And as many people know, our vouchers, gift cards and e-codes help businesses of all sizes across all sorts of sectors attract and retain both employees and customers. And we support organisations from the NHS, care homes, professional services, manufacturing, financial services and beyond. And ultimately, within those businesses and organisations, there are similar needs, which is to reward, engage and incentivise groups of people. And you're probably wondering why firms up and down the country use Love to Shop products as rewards and incentives. Well, the science shows us and proves that where employees are rewarded, they're more likely to be engaged. And when they're engaged, they're more likely to be productive. So it really is a win-win situation. And that's why rewards and incentives are so important to us and have been proven so important to business growth.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's impossible, I'm sure, both of us, to read the news or the papers without the key focus in the UK economy being on the cost of living crisis, whether it's rising fuel costs or household expenditure. And the new PM is, of course, making it a priority. Can you tell us what Appreciate is doing to support customers and businesses?
Yeah, I agree, Lou. Every time you turn on the 10 o'clock news, you're bracing yourself.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we know businesses are keen to support their staff. We understand that the cost of living crisis is impacting people right now. But fortunately, we do have some excellent products and services which can help, everybody support staff during this time.
Mm-hmm. Great. And can you tell us about a little bit about the Everyday Benefits Card as something I know we're all quite excited about that we're able to offer. But for those who don't know about it, could you tell those listeners a bit more about it?
Yeah, it's a product that's right now. It's a real solution for businesses who want to support their employees during this time of a cost of living crisis. And the way it works out is really straightforward. It offers a 7.5% discount to employees on their day-to-day spending. So it's a real saving for that day-to-day spend or for one-off big purchases. And is it too early? Christmas just around the corner.
Never too early, Frank.
Yeah, it could really help with your Christmas shopping. And it's also a cost-effective solution for engaging employees, so for our businesses. We've calculated that the average family could save over £1,300 a year through using the employee benefit card. And that could be on their weekly shop, occasional electrical appliances, days out, and even holidays. So we think it might be a solution for people on this call to support their teams. And to that end, we can provide people with a free everyday benefit card to test it out yourselves. We'll be emailing you after this event with instructions on how you can get a trial card. Alternatively, just give us a call and we can help.
Fantastic. Sounds like a win-win for the employee and the employer. You've also just released a very insightful and in-depth employee value report. I know a lot of customers and media, you'll be able to download at the Appreciate website. We'll give you a link afterwards. But without giving too much away, are there any significant findings you've seen in terms of loyalty and happiness in the workplace for 2022 that you could share with everyone?
Yeah, absolutely. It's well worth a read because it is a really broad-reaching review of how employees are experiencing workplace satisfaction. If I was to pull out just one figure, it would be that 10 million workers in the UK feel undervalued. So rewards and recognition are absolutely more crucial now than ever, especially if you go back to the fact that more engaged employees are more productive, generate more profit, and that's what's needed at this challenging time.
Yeah, absolutely. And for those of you who'd like to find out a bit more about the Everyday Benefits Card, we've got a short video to tell you exactly what is on offer. Fantastic. So I'm quite excited myself after watching that about Everyday Benefits Cards. We've also got a few, we've got some great media here today, which I think are equally excited. Scott at Sky, Natalie at Retail Bulletin, Joe at HR News. Thank you so much for joining us. We're really proud to introduce this product. We're quite excited to be introducing it this time when it's needed now more than ever. So moving on to our second speaker, which is the lovely Jamie Clark. Let me just spotlight you for everyone to see. Jamie is our head of Appreciate Engagement Platform, and he's spearheaded our award-winning platform. So Jamie, the new modular sort of off-the-shelf engagement platform is big news in the world of employee and customer engagement. Can you tell us more about it?
Yeah, thanks, Lou. Absolutely. For over 30 years, businesses have been using Love2shop products, mostly the vouchers, the gift cards, gift codes, to incentivize and reward employees and customers. But rewards only the end result for the client, who typically has to manually offline do a lot of activity to make schemes work, such as planning communications to promote the incentive, gather and possibly manipulate data to identify who's actually achieved objectives and how much they earned. got to manage the order of the vouchers with us, and sometimes the fulfillment often to multiple addresses and recipients. But on top of this, there's lots of time-consuming tasks that they have to take on as the incentive stakeholder. They've got to define and uphold terms and conditions. They have time to manage queries and updates to the scheme. And on top of that, they've got to demonstrate a return on investment. And that's not always easy without a system that can provide insight. And as well as this, they've got to do their day job. So that's part of it. So Appreciate Engagement Platform, it does all of this for the client so that they can focus on their day job. Now, we've been delivering bespoke platforms to clients for about 5 years now, and that usually involves greater upfront costs, a bit of a longer lead time in terms of development that's specific to that client's own needs. But with our new modular approach, what we're doing is we have the ability to launch go-to-market platforms with basic functionality required to get any incentive, loyalty, or employee recognition scheme up and running super fast at lower cost. And, Frank mentioned it, but with the current, focus on the cost of living crisis, and the Great Resignation is still much talked about as well across industries. Clients are looking for more agile ways to engage with their audiences to drive performance improvement. Whether it's trying to increase share of wallet through a loyalty scheme, or whether it's looking at employee retention and addressing their employee value proposition or their engagement strategy. And that's where employee recognition schemes, such as the ones that we can launch, can really add value to both of those.
Yep, fantastic. And just to say thank you for all your questions coming in. We're going to show a short film, short video of the engagement platform, and then we're going to get straight to your questions. So it's a short video about the Appreciate Engagement Platform.
Appreciate Engagement Platform is intelligent, easy to use, and it saves time. Engage, incentivize, or motivate people with minimal effort using our modular rewards management tool. Are you engaging employees, market research respondents, customers, channel partners, resellers, sales teams, other groups of people? Appreciate Engagement Platform, designed by the UK's leading rewards company, can help you deliver the right reward to the right person at the right time. We start by listening to your needs, challenges and targets before we create a platform that's right for your business. On the other hand, our popular off-the-shelf version offers so many advanced features, it may be just what you're looking for anyway. When it's up and running, you'll be shocked by how much time you'll get back. You might wish you'd done it sooner. The engagement platform can also automate data exchange and rewards fulfillment, while also providing reports and analysis. Appreciate Engagement Platform helps you seamlessly manage incentives, loyalty, and recognition programs with outstanding results. But it's modular, so you can build things in, switch features out, and design it all according to your own business needs. And it's flexible, so can change when your needs change. We'd be short-sighted to think that rewards alone maximise engagement and performance improvement. That's why the user experience has been designed to feel nice and simple. No complex logins, tricky websites to navigate, no disengagement at all. They'll come back for more. Once we've worked together on your site design and content, promotional campaigns and reward catalogue, other modules might also add value to your proactive and reactive campaigns. Things like scratch cards, quiz e-learning, raffles, e-cards, surveys, lead forms and wish lists. Your new platform automatically collects valuable data, which you'll be able to view in your dashboard. No more scrabbling around with spreadsheets and pivot tables. And who doesn't like a story with a happy ending? Imagine seeing a 35% lift on last year's sales, or sales figures for your channel partners and resellers with monthly or weekly breakdowns, or your net profit from incremental sales increase, all in one place. Want it to look like it's come from your organisation and reel in some brand equity? White label to your heart's content. Want to know more? Get in touch today.
Fantastic. Watching it, I'm thinking, as even a technophobe like myself, it seems like such an easy thing to navigate. And when you were telling us about all the work of engagement platform managers, I feel like we should give them Love to Shop vouchers for all the hard work. So looking at the engagement video, a lot of viewers are asking, they're keen to know how have other businesses benefited in real terms? And can you give an example that you can share with the audience just now?
Yes, certainly. I mean, one that really stands out, and in fact, it won us the awards last year, was our partnership with Brakes. Now, I mean, they're a huge hospitality and food provision business, and we developed a platform for their Help for Hospitality campaign. And the results for that were just brilliant, really exceptional.
Fantastic. And Jade is asking just now, Jade O'Donoghue is asking, is it a website or is it also an app?
Yeah, it's a web optimized website. So, you know, we look at that in the design and the build for our clients. We actually make sure that in the user acceptance testing, that it works perfectly on the devices that they want.
Fantastic. So Jade will be happy to hear that. And you mentioned Help for Hospitality and how Appreciate contributed. Could you tell us a little bit more about that, Jamie?
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, really proud to do so. You know, Brakes is the UK's leading food service wholesaler. And the campaign was designed to help get hospitality customers back upon their feet once they were able to reopen after the nationwide lockdown, which we all remember, I'm sure, was a really difficult time. So it ran from April till August in 2021. The campaign itself was the most extensive Brakes has ever run, and it was informed by a lot of extensive research into what matters most for hospitality customers at the time. Mm-hmm. So what the team at Appreciate provided was technical, creative and software support for the campaign. And at the heart of it, it involved us building 3 separate but interdependent microsites for the promotion. And that provided the software to deliver cashback and rewards to Brakes customers. Within there, I mean, it comprised of over 3,500 price cuts, cashback style reward scheme, and there was a lot of bespoke promotions that we were running as well.
Brilliant. And what were the results that were delivered?
I mean, the campaign delivered exceptional growth for Brakes. There was 10% of sales coming from new categories of products, which is really important to them. And additionally, 20% of Brakes customers engaged in the Help for Hospitality scheme. They generated more than 60% of Brakes sales revenue during that promotion period, which is crazy. You know, it's just one example of how powerful a resource and engagement platform can be if delivered correctly.
Yeah, that's an incredible example, actually, which leads on to the next question, which a lot of people are asking, is how can organizations introduce their own modular platform? And questions like, is it complicated? Does it require very high tech computer capacity within your organization?
No, not at all. Well, not anymore anyway. I think, you know, there's potentially a bit of a common misconception by some people that, you know, introducing engagement platform is going to be a very complex project. It might require a lot of technical redevelopment to integrate various things with in-house systems, but it really doesn't have to be that way. And once we understand your needs through a consultation meeting, we project manage everything. We deploy modules that manage the needs, such as user management, setting goals and targets, automating all the communications that you require in the program. And we've also pre-developed some mechanisms for data exchange that may suit different organizations as well. So a really simple way for clients to import raw data into the platform and let the platform do all the hard work of crunching numbers and spitting out results and paying out rewards. So, you know, typically from start to finish, anything between 4 to 12 weeks, depending on stakeholder responsiveness, you know, and the complexity of the program.
Fantastic. That's one of the questions as well, timeline. So that's good to know, yeah. 4 to 12 weeks, depending on the platform and complexity. And also cost right now is a big issue, which a few people are speaking about in the Q&A. A few attendees are asking about what's the level of investment required for this type of platform?
So yeah, I mean, totally understandable. Cost is at the heart of everything. And, you know, one of the things that we've done is, you know, we've made affordability a key element of the system. You know, by having an off-the-shelf option, what we're trying to do is make the engagement platform technology more accessible to more clients. You know, the value of a well-run, strongly communicated scheme can make a significant difference to a business performance, and it will deliver a strong return on investment. In effect, schemes pay for themselves. Mm-hmm. So having a clear, realistic objective supported with Appreciate engagement platform will deliver results. So with that in mind, you know, we have an opportunity for everyone who's attended and registered to be put forward to win an off-the-shelf platform for their organisation. You know, that's worth in the region of about £5,000 in consultancy and setup. So, we're also going to offer 5 attendees a free consultation session. So that's 2 hours of expertise and advice. So good luck to everyone that registered for this opportunity, and thank you.
Yep, fantastic. What a great prize. So all of you that are saying I'm very excited about engagement platforms, you will be put into, as Jamie said, prize draw. And there'll be 1 lucky winner who will win the platform, and then also 5 other people who get 2 hours of expertise. So look out in your inbox after the session today. Thank you so much, Jamie. What a fantastic prize to offer. And as I say, the lucky winners will be notified straight after, well, certainly after the event. Thank you very much, Jamie. So if you've got any questions, I can see there's questions about engagement platforms. Please do keep them coming, because although we're moving on to the next speaker, we will actually take a note of all your questions and we will definitely get back to you. So please do keep asking. I can see a few coming in. Please keep asking us the questions about engagement platforms, and I shall pick Jamie's brains afterwards. So now is a good time. To remind you, in addition to the platform, the consultancy hours, we're also offering 4 £250 Love to Shop vouchers. We love giving prizes at Appreciate. So again, check your inbox, because after this, one of you might be the lucky winner of the Love to Shop voucher. So next up, we have our very first specialist speaker from the world of business. I didn't know this, but the world of business has its very own School of Psychology. They study the patterns and behaviours that create change within business, that motivate and boost success. So today I'm delighted to introduce one of UK's top business psychologists, Rebecca Stevens. So I'll just
thank you.
Join us just now. Welcome, Rebecca. So to tell you a bit more about Rebecca, she heads up Worker Bright. We're getting lots of thumbs up here from people. Some people might know you already. It's her own organisation. She's passionate about applying all those psychological insights to business, to engagement, and to performance. She's worked with hundreds of top leadership teams, senior leaders, HR teams across a diverse range of industries, from retail right through to local and central government. Rebecca, those are some credentials. They're definitely somebody we need to be speaking to right now with the current situation.
Thank you for having me along.
You're very welcome. I think we all need a bit of a psychological boost just now, considering the economic landscape. So can you share with us, in your great expertise, what are the key points on creating motivation and engagement amongst your staff at the moment?
It's a popular topic that I'm sure you understand I'm talking to a lot of leaders about. And I guess let's roll it back a bit, and do stop me if you kind of have questions or want me to simplify or expand on anything, into what it is that drives us. So principally, our brain is a feedback mechanism. It's looking for patterns which are familiar, patterns which are different. So what is fundamentally happening is thinking about, right, is this safe for me, or is it a danger? So when we're looking at motivation, what we're trying to reinforce and build are those familiar pattern systems, and thinking about, because that motivation piece gives us the serotonin, the dopamine, that sense of well-being. That
get the serotonin, we get a lot of vouch for that.
yeah, totally. And it's all about kind of connecting into that feeling and how that helps us engage. We talked a lot about engage already, and I'll also keep coming back to that point. And by so it's really thinking about how are you reinforcing those pattern loops. So in motivation, there are, at a simplistic level, there are intrinsic motivators and extrinsic motivators. So intrinsic motivators are things like a sense of satisfaction for a job well done, or a sense of pride, those things that are quite internal to you. The extrinsic motivators are things like, a promotion or a pay increase, those things that are external to you, but you feel that help reinforce behavior. So when we're thinking about motivation, it's understanding, how can we move towards a space of positive reinforcement? How can we be, very simply, rewarding the behaviors you want to see? And, rather than, often the focus can be on punishing the behaviors you don't want to see, but actually you have to replace the behavior with a behavior, and the best way of doing it is rewarding the behaviors you want to see. So it's all about reinforcing that feedback loop, and making sure that that's in a very personalized kind of way.
Yeah, brilliant. And I know you do a lot of sort of change management in organizations. I was wondering, what would be your tips for leaders and organizations listening just now to stay motivated during tough times?
Yeah, totally. The principal thing is, I mean, especially currently, but a lot of my work during the pandemic is all about mindset and how you're thinking about and conscious about what is going on in your mindset. And it's delightful to have Jill here today, because a lot of this has come from the field of sports psychology and moved into the world of business psychology. So we stole it from that field. But it's really thinking, right, what is my mindset? What's affecting my mindset? How do I build a stronger, positive mindset? So things like, what do I have influence over? And what can I control and what don't I? And particularly from a leadership perspective, helping people see that, helping people feel that. So helping people see what they can influence, what they can control, and increasing that space. And in that mindset piece, another aspect is also thinking about that growth mindset. I'm sure people here have heard of Carol Dweck's work around that, seeing things as failure is an opportunity to learn. It's actually first attempt in learning. I heard it described the other day, and I thought, I'm going to steal that. That's a brilliant way of looking at the word fail. It's a first attempt at learning. So growth mindset, helping people really find that piece and reinforcing that is really a key. So I'd say mindset, if you picked one thing.
Yeah, mindset, brilliant. And I'm sure, like a lot of us, have had a chance to look at the Appreciate Employee Value Report. Just if you haven't, don't worry, we shall be sending the link in the follow-up email. There's some quite shocking statistics in the Employee Value Report, and one that Frank mentioned earlier, actually, the figure of 10 million UK workers feeling undervalued. So that's what 1 in 3 employees. What did you make of those findings? Were you shocked or surprised?
I wasn't that surprised, given what I'm experiencing on a day-to-day basis. I mean, not least this morning, already been working with a leader in the NHS and talking about what they've been doing to engage people in the last 2 years. And it's, really thinking about, what is that broad strategy for engagement? And rewards and recognition are part of that broader strategy, because extrinsic motivators can help reinforce and build intrinsic motivators. So it's really putting it as part of that broad strategy and thinking about, another thing I kind of saw in the report was around how people, it's really transparent what the employee experience is these days. It's all there on social media. So things like, in the report it said 3/4 of people say companies which gift staff regularly are more likely to attract a better caliber of employee. Well, that doesn't surprise me, because people are thinking about, well, what's that broad perspective? How are they seeking to engage me? How are they seeking to value me? And that engagement strategy has to have an individualized aspect to it for it to really work.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's been called recently the sort of great resignation, the huge number of unhappy employees exiting the workplace. Again, we've got lots of organizations listening. What advice would you give to retain staff in these difficult times?
Yeah, to be honest, the starting point, do a lot of coaching, and the starting point is always actually, how much are you listening? How much are you really listening? Not the surface listening, the really listening, that deep listening. And as part of that, having compassion. Now, compassion is empathy with action. It's not just saying, oh, I'm sorry to hear that. It's actually taking action and helping support people through what they're experiencing. So that communication, the relational piece, is the piece to be focusing on. And the companies that have done that during the pandemic are the ones who are thriving now, because they've focused on the human being. They're rewarding the behavior they want to see, and they're creating systems and processes and policies and approaches to reinforce all that in leaders and in managers, and then also within teams. So it's not just reliant on the manager. It doesn't get bottlenecked in that sense. It's teams actually connecting better in such a challenging environment, especially with hybrid working and online working, even more important to focus on that communication piece, which I know, of course, was another part to the report.
Yeah, communication was a big focus in the report.
Yeah.
And the bit that struck me from the report was actually that 6 out of 10 employees, the top 3 things they wanted was a day off, flexible working, or gift cards to feel most rewarded. I could definitely identify with that. So it's communication is really important as well. So finally, Rebecca, again, for people listening, if they had to do, say, one thing tomorrow in terms of making a real change to their own mindset, achieving success through adversity, which is the name of the event after all, what is one tip you would give them to change their mindset so they are primed for success through these tough times?
Oh, there's many things I could list, but I appreciate that we need to wrap up quickly. But in the mindset piece, it makes me think about kindness is a really important part of this. That self-compassion of what's going on for you, and that's okay. And having that, just having a bit more self-compassion. We're all critiques of ourselves, and we wouldn't say those things to other people. So why do we say them to ourselves? And because our self-talk massively influence our mindset. So if you can only do one thing, just try and focus on that piece. So it makes a big difference.
Yeah, absolutely. Rebecca, thank you so much for being with us today. I'm sure everyone like myself, I wish I'd taken notes. I'm sure I'll watch it back and play back and take some good tips. But thanks for joining us today and giving us
thank you.
Mindset. Thank you so much. And for those, I see that a few have just joined us, you will notice that the lovely Jill Scott is with us. I'm not going to spotlight her just yet. I'm going to give a bit of an introduction, but it's just to say as well that, again, if you're asking about the report, you will all receive a link to the report in the follow-up email. It's also on the Appreciate website where you can download it. So there's lots of ways to access that. So yes, thank you to Rebecca. So next up, we have someone who's a bit of a national hero to many of us. It's my absolute honour to introduce Jill Scott MBE, England Lioness, businesswoman, and also much in demand motivational speaker. So we're very lucky to have you, Jill. Thanks for joining us. And before we get started, just let me share a little bit about what an inspiration Jill is to all of us. So a bit of background. Jill started playing football. We're getting lots of love hearts and round of applause, Jill. I hope you're feeling the love. Jill started playing football when she was only 7 years old, up in her home city of Sunderland. She went on to play professionally for many top squads, notably Everton for 7 years and Manchester City for 5 years. She made her debut for the England senior team back in 2006 and has since gone on to earn 161 caps in England. She's the second highest capped Lioness in history. And on top of that, she's played in not one, but 2 Olympic Games. So in 2012 and in 2020. And most excitingly, I imagine, for most of us watching today, Jill was a force of nature for the England Lionesses, an integral part of the Lionesses' success this year at the Women's European Championships, where you became the first and only English player to appear in 2 major tournaments finals. As some of you may know, Jill called time on her playing career just over a month ago, and now divides her time between running her thriving Jill Scott Soccer Academy and the highly successful Box to Box coffee shop in Manchester. I know a few of the Manchester journalists are here, so it's a great place to grab a coffee, Box to Box. So alongside all of this, Jill has a career as a sports commentator. I'm not sure how she fits that in on TV now too. And I'm sure Jill will share a bit more about that part of her career, especially with the World Cup coming up. But for now, we're all very keen to hear about Jill's experience of overcoming the challenges she's faced as a sportswoman and businesswoman. So a big round of applause and a virtual round of applause for our keynote speaker, Jill Scott. I shall just spotlight you, Jill. Here we go. Welcome. And thank you so much for joining us. I believe you may, at the end of us, once I've posed all the questions to you, there's some coming in already. You may have your medals with you. Did I hear correct?
Well, I might do, but what happened was I've been showing it to so many kids and everything. All the ribbon it's got face paint on and everything. So I've actually sent it off to get framed because I think I need to look after it. So I apologise about that.
That's okay. It sounds like a very loved medal. We can
Oh.
love on it another time then. Thank you so much for joining us. The first thing I wanted to ask you actually is, I know that you've, from your own experiences, the world of elite sport, you've learned so many priceless lessons, techniques, mindset, as Rebecca talked about, to formulate your very own 8-point formula for success.
Yeah.
And since the theme today is success through adversity, I wonder if you could share with us just one or two of the key elements of that formula that would help us be successful through tough times.
Yeah, I think you might not have a lot of time to go through all of it. But yeah, it's probably just been things that I've learned throughout my career. I liked when you were speaking about failures as the first point of learning, because for me, I've had a lot of failures throughout my career. And when I look at that gold medal, it kind of makes it all worthwhile, but there's been a lot of learnings throughout. So in terms of the first thing I would probably share is, especially in business, is you've got to find your own formula and what works for you, and kind of not comparing yourself to the person next to you and thinking, oh, they're doing that, I've got to do that. I think we can share a common goal. So being part of a squad of 23, you've got so many different personalities. You can have that final goal, but you can get there in different ways. Yeah. I think one of the other things that you speak about, valuing people, them little thank yous along the way, that means so much. And obviously in the Euros, you look at the quarterfinals, semi-final, finals, that's what everybody sees. But behind the scenes, you're spending a lot of time with your teammates. And we really made a conscious effort to get to know each other a little bit better, because when you're away for them 10 weeks, you don't just want to talk about football. I think it's so important. You can go and have a conversation with your teammate, ask if they've got something going on at home, how's the brother, how's the sister, and people might say, well, why do you need to know that if you're just going to go and play football with them? But I think it just connects you, and you learn what their why is and why they want to be there. And when you step over the white line, or in business, you've got an important day, I think you just kind of connect with them a little bit more. In terms of adversity, I think lockdown was a hard time for everybody. I know we probably all lost our purpose a little bit. I always thought my purpose was being a footballer, and I was like, I can't play football, so what is my purpose in this lockdown? But I actually read a book, ironically called Purpose, and I found out that I also get a lot of buzz from helping people. So it made me think, how can I get that buzz without obviously doing what I love? So I think that's very important to know that. And through lockdown, I remember I was on 149 England caps, and we didn't have a game for a year. And I probably could have looked at that and said, oh, right, like it's came in right now and I might never get to that 150. But for me, that 150 motivated us every single day. When I had to go out for a run, the weather was terrible, I was on a field dodging dogs. I was like, I really want to get that 150th cap. So I think it's good to have that goal in your mind, but also I think just being the best version of yourself every single day, giving 110%, whether it's when nobody's watching, whether it's in the office. Can you step away from your organization, look in the mirror and say, I added value today, or I was the best version of myself? And then, you know what, if you don't get the success, or you don't reach what's perceived to be the top, at least you can know that you did everything right. So that's probably a bit of a quick insight into the...
No, that's fantastic. It's so rich, and I can hear and feel the determination and mindset that you have from that short response. So diving into the questions, Jill, we have loads of questions. Just to say, we won't get through all of them, but I definitely want to pose some of them to you. So first off, as you know, appreciate business services and love to shop. We're all about reward and engagement. And I wanted to know, what was the best prize or gift you've ever received, apart from your Euro Championship medal, of course?
I've probably got two. I recently received a card off like a 9-year-old girl, and it was all specifically wrote out, just thank you for motivating me. I'm now playing for my school team and for my local team as well. And there was a picture on the front, and it meant so much, like them little gifts and little cards from younger players. And then probably the other end of the spectrum, but exactly the same meaning, was when I got my 150th cap with England, I got a handwritten letter from Prince William. And a bit of a background story, me and him opened a football facility together years ago. And basically they wanted us to play against each other. I didn't have my football boots, and I slipped and basically wiped out the future king. So he always remembers me. I've seen him about 5 times.
Remember you, Jill.
Yeah, he
He's
does.
starting to remember you as well.
Oh, he does. So on this letter, he just wrote, "P.S. Watch out for your sliding tackles." But it was just a thank you to say for my services to football, and it really meant a lot to think he'd actually took the time out to say thank you.
Absolutely. And I think it's, as you say, it's that personal touch, isn't it? Handwritten letters, which people very rarely send now, so it feels really special to get them.
Yeah.
So also thinking about gifts, we've talked about 250 Love to Shop vouchers, which 4 of people watching today are going to get. If you were to get a £250 Love to Shop voucher, what would you spend it on? What gift would you get for yourself?
You know what, if I'm being honest, if I received a voucher, I'd probably give it away, because that's what I'm like. If I go to buy myself something, I feel so guilty. But if it was buying a family member or a friend, I would definitely do it. So if it was for me, everybody says I'm the hardest person to buy for, but I just love like candles and like good like kind of like body creams and stuff like that. So I'd get a lot for a £250. But
Yeah, a year's
yeah.
supply, I think.
I definitely would. I definitely would. But for me, it's the simple things in life. I really like them. And I think, as you touched on before, we don't really write cards anymore, and we don't really kind of go and see people in person. It's always a text, or you can see what they're doing through Instagram, so you don't check in. So I do consciously try and do that, because I think just even writing in a card, rather than ordering one off Moonpig or something like that, it means so much more. So I think that's a good point.
Definitely. Everyone now will be hopefully writing cards after this.
Yeah.
Made me think about it. We also appreciate, one of our values is about, spreading joy. One of the questions someone was asking is, what is the happiest moment of your life and career so far? Personal, or let's say one of the happiest.
Yeah, I know this sounds, obviously that winning the Euros, 90,000 people at Wembley against Germany, seeing my family and friends in the crowd, that is by far the best moment. But in terms of saying, has my career been successful, it's not always about that gold medal. I recently I had to do our values and morals for the Lionesses, and I won't read out the whole poem, else we'll be here all day, but the last line was, we have to create an environment where everyone can thrive, because it's not the splash you remember, it's definitely the dive. And that for me sums
I love
it up.
that.
The
Say the
splash,
last line again.
it says, so we've got to create an environment where everyone can thrive, because it's not the splash you remember, it's definitely the dive. And it's just touching on that. The splash is the gold medal, but the dive is the journey and all the friendships I've made throughout the sport. The game being in a better place now than when I started all them years ago. That's what success looks like for me. So I've had a very happy journey, and one I'm very appreciative of.
Yeah, I bet. Thanks for sharing that with us. And we all know, you've got the thriving academy, you've got a hugely popular coffee shop business too. And we're just wondering, which gives you the sort of most satisfaction, the entrepreneurship and the business, or the sport and the academy?
I enjoy it all, to be honest. It's probably why I look as tired as I look at the minute. But I think it's just, they give us joys for different reasons. The coaching, just being able to help young players learn new skills, pass on kind of experiences that I've had, and just being able to help them. And then the coffee shop, we are sometimes the only point of contact for a lot of our elderly customers. So if it wasn't for the coffee shop, they wouldn't even have conversations and stuff like that. And we've started walking groups where people can come, meet each other, go for a walk. So I suppose the thing that binds it all together is that helping people and having conversation. But I must say that I'm so lucky I get to do different jobs, which I think keeps my mind going. If I haven't been in the coffee shop for a few days, I forget everything. So I'm terrible at working there, but I can pour a good flat white, and I'd like to think I'm good with the customers.
Is your coffee good?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that was the first thing I was like, we need to have a good coffee. You need to obviously make sure your nucleus is the best it can be, and then we're built around that. But we do good cakes too, so thanks for the plug.
I'll pop in if I'm down in Manchester. One of your other brilliant sayings is, when passion meets inspiration, an obsession is born.
Yeah.
And one viewer was asking that you're known for being a wee bit fiery, as we'd say in Scotland, a wee bit fiery on the pitch. Is it a burning desire? Is that burning desire to win essential to success, do you think, Jill? That kind of fire in your belly?
I think it's just, I thought I'd get through my first talk without mentioning what I said on the pitch at Wembley, but yeah, we can bypass that.
Blame the client.
I think it's just, yeah, I've always been passionate. I think if you want something so bad, without realizing as the years go on, you become so obsessed. Yeah. So it's not till I've stopped now, I'm like, God, I can go to bed at 11 o'clock and I can have 2 cups of tea tonight instead of 1. And that's pretty much as rebellious as I've been. But I think without knowing it, you do get obsessed. And it's important to recognize that sometimes, because you don't want your work to take over your life. I think that balance is so important. But yeah, definitely in sport, whenever I cross that white line, I'd always be the joker off the pitch. And I had a really good ability of then switching on as soon as I knew it was time to work, but also being aware that some people can't do that. So making sure that you're very aware of other people around you as well. So yeah, I was definitely probably a bit too passionate at times, but looking at that gold medal, it makes it all worth it.
Absolutely. And I think to some extent, a lot of people who are in elite sport, is that passion that takes them there.
Yeah, definitely.
In their belly that's needed. And it sounds like you've got a great balance now between your academy and the coffee business. Yeah, it was great to hear more about the coffee business. Sounds like you're doing some great work. And finally, we thanking people is really important to us at Appreciate. As you know, we've got the rewards, we've got the Love to Shop. And you've mentioned a few sort of personal letters already, but we just wondered, is there any like special thank you that you've had in your lifetime that's meant a lot to you? Yeah, whether that's in your career or personal life. Yeah, just a thank you that you've had that really stands out, because I know a lot of us here will have those special thank yous. We'd just love you to share yours.
Yeah, I think just throughout the years, really, I think sometimes, well, one of them actually, just as I'm looking down, I actually received a bracelet. I don't know if you can see it.
Oh, yeah.
And basically, I think my teammates before I retired, I think they kind of sensed it was coming. And a few of them met us for a coffee and they said, we've got something for you. And they give us this really lovely bracelet. And I said, why are you giving us this? It was before the semi-final, actually. And they said, just thank you for being you. And it was literally just them words. And I was like, wow, for being me, I get this bracelet. So I think something like that is just means so much to us, because sometimes you can go into work and feeling valued is the most important thing. And you don't realize how just a little thank you, even celebrating just something little that you see someone do, if they pick up the rubbish after someone and they're not complaining that they've left it and they're just trying to add value to the workplace. I think sometimes asking people just how they're feeling or a little thank you, it goes so far. And I hadn't planned that answer, but yeah, this bracelet does mean a lot to me.
Oh, that's such a lovely note to finish on, Jill. And I think you're absolutely right. Echoes what Rebecca said. Rewards, when they're very personal, yeah, can mean so much. So just to say, we've came to the end of the questions. So thank you so much for your questions. Thank you, Jill, for coming on. I know you're busy. So thanks for coming on, speaking to us. Hugely inspirational to meet you. And I'm sure, like lots of people, it's been the highlight of my day.
Thank you, everyone. Have a great day. Thank you.
Take care. Thank you, Jill. So as we come to moving on to the end of the event, we're just going to remind ourselves exactly what Appreciate Business Services offer. And then we've got a few words of thanks from our interim chief exec. So as we near the end of our event, it's just to have a few words of thanks for our interim Chief Executive Officer of Appreciate Group, Julian Cohen, and with a few words of thanks.
Thanks, Lou, and thanks to everyone who've made this event so engaging and informative. A very special thanks to our key speaker, England Lioness Jill Scott, MBE. I'm sure we all agree that she is an inspiration and a great example to us all, that commitment, hard work and teamwork really does pay off and can even create history. Also, thanks to Rebecca Stevens, a top psychologist who has given us food for thought with her eye-opening insights into just how vital it is, especially with the cost of living crisis, to engage and reward staff and customers. Not only is rewarding and incentivizing a key element of a successful business model, it's clearly crucial psychologically to individuals' morale and loyalty. However, our in-depth Appreciate report has shown 1/3 of employees feel undervalued at work. We are here to help. We can support reward programs with our Love to Shop products that can bolster employee motivation, loyalty and satisfaction. And as we've seen, we have the award-winning Appreciate engagement platform services that can enable you to plan, launch, communicate and maintain incentive and reward programs, a real benefit in the current economic climate. Finally, given that every penny counts, right now for families across the UK, we have the excellent Everyday Benefits card. It's a product that you can offer your employees, and it really does help make savings to alleviate the cost of living problems for everybody. Right, that's it. Finally, I want to thank each and every one of you who have attended today, or perhaps you're catching up and watching us on a recording. Thank you for joining us and all the very best.
So finally, just thanks from myself. Do check your inbox. You'll have the opportunity to win the £5,000 platform, the £250 Love to Shop vouchers, and also you have the opportunity to trial out the Everyday Benefits card. And for those asking, yes, there will be lots of interest in the report, which is fantastic. You will get a link in the follow-up email, everyone who has attended today, and it's also on the Appreciate website. So thank you for joining us today. Enjoy the rest of your evening and take care from Appreciate.